Nonlinearity. What is it? Why does it matter? How is it used? Nonlinearity is a complexity concept. Complexity theory has much to offer in helping us understand how the world works, and complexity concepts help us make sense of how programs operate in evaluation and how systems function in systemic analysis. But complexity concepts can be difficult to explain. Christmas offers some good examples of how to make sense of complexity concepts. Take, for example, the idea of nonlinearity. A nonlinear effect occurs when the result of an action is not proportional to the input that generated the result. We typically think of the world as being proportional. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, that the reactions are proportionate to the actions that stimulated them. But in nonlinearity, small actions can have very large effects. Nonlinearity is often represented by the butterfly effect, in which the flapping of the wings of a butterfly can affect weather systems sometime later. This effect was identified by mathematician and meteorologist Edward Norton Lorenz in the 1970s as he studied tornadoes and the ways in which the formation, path, and severity of tornadoes was affected by minor perturbation. The effects on weather systems, of course, then affected human systems and social systems, and even political and economic systems. Such is the nature of nonlinearity. So what's a Christmas example of nonlinearity? Well, consider the song, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. J. Fred Coots and Haven Gillespie wrote this song. The song was then sung on Eddie Kantner's radio show in November 1934. It became an instant hit. 500,000 copies of sheet music and more than 30,000 records sold within 24 hours. The song has been recorded by over 200 artists, including Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters, the Crystals, Neil Diamond, Bruce Springsteen, Frank Sinatra, Bill Evans, the Temptations, the Carpenters, and the Jackson 5. But consider the effect of the lyrics. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been good or bad, so be good for goodness' sake. The tradition of bad children getting coal in their stocking instead of a Christmas gift from Santa goes back to at least the 16th century in Europe. But it really became deeply institutionalized in the United States and widespread, evoking fear in children through the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town. One story goes that many children who interpreted the line, he sees you when you're sleeping, they heard, he seizes you when you're sleeping. It became a song that parents used to warn children and control their behavior. I speak from personal experience. When I was growing up, my father regularly evoked Santa Claus, played that song, and reminded my sister and I that Santa was making a list and checking it twice, and we'd better be good or we'd get nothing for Christmas. We were also supposed to be good to get into heaven, but heaven was a long way away. Santa Claus was every year. Santa Claus, the evaluator, conducting an annual performance review for children to decide what their Christmas gifts would be. It seems to me that today there is much less emphasis on Santa Claus as the annual evaluator of children's behavior. And yet for my generation, those lyrics were quite powerful. He's making a list, he's checking it twice, he's going to find out who's naughty or nice. He sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. This song, written and first performed during the heart of the Great Depression, became a central feature of Christmas for 3 to 4 generations of children. Santa as an annual evaluator. And yet, Christmas continues to change, as it has over time, and that message seems to me less prominent today, though the song remains popular. The nonlinear nature of this song and story is that this short, simple song, played on the radio for the first time, became a massive hit and infused a narrative into the Christmas celebration that lasted for several generations. Such is the impact of narrative on how we see things, how we understand things, how we engage with the world. And that's what complexity theory teaches us, is that these things aren't predictable, they're not simple, they're not always linear, and when there are big effects from very small inputs, you have complex nonlinearity manifest in the world.